Well, percenters, welcome back. Coach Tommy here. Thinking basketball, NBA 2K creation, Ausar Thompson. This video is titled "The Craziest Defensive Athlete I've Ever Seen." If you're already saying defensive athlete, you know he sucks at offense. He's just an athlete. The best athlete, Dwight Howard, Shaq.
This is Ausar. He's a rookie and messed around like this in a league called Overtime Elite last year. Meanwhile, Shea averaged 31 points per game and made All-NBA first team by messing with defenders.
What's the greatest attribute you need for basketball or sports? It's especially basketball: agility, explosiveness in one direction, changing levels, speeds, all of that. So the more agile and explosive you are, the better of an athlete you are going to be, and that's pretty much with any sport.
This is what happened when Shea tried to cook Ausar. I've watched this repeatedly, and it doesn't make sense.
Why doesn't it make sense?
Because
jump stop, land on 2 feet, pivot and pass the ball.
Should do this to all stars, but Ausar Thompson is no ordinary rookie defender. To put into perspective how wild Ausar's NBA debut has been, he's just the 5th player to record 40 rebounds and 10 blocks.
You already had a shot right there.
He's just the 5th player to
right there in that gap right there. He already should have shot it. He probes it, bounces out. Ausar recovers, Embiid's rolling, so Ausar gets a chance to get closer.
Rebounds and 10 blocks in his first 4 games.
Is that great
and
defense?
And the first 4 were centers who all won MVPs. As a
Hakeem, great athlete.
Perimeter defender,
Shaq, David
Thompson
Robinson.
was basically constructed in a lab. He's 6'6" barefoot with a 7-foot wingspan and moves like someone. Perimeter defender, Thompson was basically constructed.
Most people say defense is just effort.
In a lab.
So he's just trailing. Could Eric Gordon have cross-jabbed and already went back to the right side, drawn the baseline defender? Or as he took this bump here, could he have stepped through and passed it back to Nurkic?
With a 7-foot
wingspan
and moves like someone set the ratings to 99 while creating their player. I mean, look at this play. There's Ausar. The pass is long gone before he moves, but he gets there anyway. He had player. I mean, look at this play. There's Ausar. The pass is long.
This is a terrible pass. He's reading his eyes the whole time.
Long gone before he moves, but he gets there.
And what makes a great pass? The right time, the right type, the target. So he should have threw it over the left side of whoever this big man is, DeAndre Ayton. He's 7 feet something. Throw it high into the left. Why would you throw it back into the right?
He has this burst that kind of catches
I'm a hater.
off guard, and he's a ridiculous vertical athlete. That's a crazy one-handed catch to finish a high pass. And on this play, he accelerates by Josh Giddey like he's standing still, then instantly gets his head near the rim.
Talk about the first 4, your first 4 steps in transition.
And on this...
Don't take anything away. This dude is a great athlete. It looks more like he just has a motor, and he's much more driven to work on the defensive side. First 4 steps, ball, boom. What is Josh Giddey doing? Is this running? No, he's already beat him in the first 2 steps, and it's already over. Right, the first 4 steps, you get that ball in transition, you want to run. Right, you got to get out. You can't take your first 4. They can't be jogging steps.
Still, then instantly gets his head near the rim. He's one of those leapers who can hang out in the air and have a sandwich, and you can see the explosion and then body control to finish on this one.
Upper body strength
Look
to pump
at
a few
how
times.
quick he is here, chasing Klay Thompson and slithering.
Read this action.
Screen.
Great, right there, navigating that screen.
And he has.
Then he's recovering.
For his hands when he's near the ball. And then at how quick he is here, chasing Klay Thompson and slithering around a screen.
Okay, that's great there.
And he has...
Klay should have already dropped it there.
Danger.
Okay, he decides to shoot it here. He could have already did a floater here. Now the space is all compacted. So this is on Klay Thompson. It's too late. Kevin Looney, it's passed behind him. He's protecting the ball. Okay, he's trying to find the ball.
And then 2 seconds later on the
And then it gets smacked out of his hand.
Other end of the court.
Rule number 1 in basketball, it teaches all the kids, protect the ball.
He does this on the dangerous hands when he's near the ball. And then 2 seconds later on the other end of the court.
Is he a dog? It looks like Ausar is a dog.
He does this on the putback, and he's so quick off the floor that the ball.
Let's see his jump mechanics. Oh, it looks pretty good.
His hand
can't see the left
before
leg.
Kevon Looney's even left the ground. But I think his best athletic trait is lateral recovery when he's beat off the dribble, which means he's really
lateral
But I think
recovery.
his best athletic trait is lateral recovery when he's beat
The hell's lateral? It's just agility.
off the dribble.
Bumps him, he rides him, turns his hip now. Okay, he's doing a sideways run, what I call a sideways run. Eric Gordon's old. Okay, this guy's young and hungry.
Means he's really hard to shake on drives. Giddey throws a bunch of moves at him here. That doesn't.
Giddey does not need to do any of these moves. He just needs to turn sideways and back down.
And
okay, he still gets to where he needs to get to after bobbling the ball.
Gets a step, but Ausar just pivots off the left foot and explodes back and front.
What the hell? He's pushing off the right foot.
Giddey throws a bunch of moves at him here. That doesn't work.
Oh man, I'm angry today. I'm picking on everything.
Actually gets.
Okay, Giddey's around. Okay, arm is in front of him. Okay, he needs to take a smaller dribble there and bump back into Ausar Thompson so he doesn't round this corner. And then now he's into the gap defender.
Ausar just pivots off the left foot and explodes back and front.
And use his size and his strength. Ausar Thompson's not going to beat him on strength and size.
In front of him.
Okay, then he picks up the ball. So you guys go high pickup.
Then nearly blocks it out of his hand.
Great contest.
Ausar just pivots off the left foot and explodes back in front of him.
But you need to learn how to take a small dribble in there.
Normal NBA defenders would be left in the dust on some of these plays, either because they lack balance to stop and start at full speed, left in the dust on.
So the difference between that last play between Giddey and Luka knows he's slower, but he's so much more poised. Whoever he's guarding here is recovering because he's in front, and then Luka slows down, and then he speeds back up, and this guy falls.
Balance to stop and start at full speed, or they lack the lateral burst to recover as quickly as Ausar and start at full speed.
These are just nitpicking stuff.
Burst to recover as quickly.
Clay jumps high to hedge the screen, and this guy just crosses over.
Catch up to the ball. He's actually running in the opposite direction here, but it's
very hard to tell what schemes are.
And start at full speed, or they lack the lateral burst to recover as quick.
Right. He wouldn't have jumped that high if that screen wasn't there. So it looks like a great crossover or bad defense.
He's actually running in the opposite direction here, but is strong enough to recover alongside the dribbler and then crush.
He's picking on Aaron Gordon.
Any ideas at the back, but is strong enough to recover alongside the dribbler and then crush any ideas at the basket. That means when he isn't behind the play, his reaction time is so good.
That was great defense.
That means when he is.
Bang, pump fake, you're out of room. Okay, use the side, cut off the side, come back, slide with him.
Reaction time is so good, it just looks like he's mirroring the ball
handler. That was great.
And that is a moving screen, ladies and gentlemen. The play,
that was not a moving
screen. His reaction time is so good, it just looks like he's mirroring the ball handler.
Zach LaVine's probably not used to somebody relative at his same speed. See, so right here, Zach LaVine, instead of crossing over, he should have backed his man down into the screen.
It's a moving screen, ladies and gentlemen. Hooah! His recovery powers help away from the ball, too. His man slips back door here, and at the last second, he just explodes over to intercept this, and it's like a tractor beam just pulled him toward the cutter.
KD's not a great passer out of the post.
Explodes over to intercept this, and it's like a tractor.
What makes a great passer? Right type, right time, right target. That looks like TJ Warren. Could he have thrown this lob over?
Beam just.
Okay, he's getting the dig defender. He's got his man standing him up. Ausar Thompson's right there, so all KD is looking at is the cutter and not the defender.
Pulled him toward the cutter.
Oh, terrible pass.
Yeah. Tractor beam.
This one's even crazier. Ausar is slid over to help, and when he turns his head, Giddey cuts toward the rim, and suddenly Thompson erases it. And even crazier, Ausar slid over to help, and when he turns his head, Giddey cuts toward the rim. And
great cut. He notices it. Great reaction.
Races it. And
great
Ausar
block.
turned his head here and realized Giddey was gone, powered up that right foot and exploded to the rim and just crushed.
Okay, so when I talk about great athletes, a lot of coaches like to teach like big, long steps. You have to take bigger steps. You have to take wider steps. You have to take faster steps, smaller steps. You can change your direction, your angle a lot quicker with a bunch of tiny little steps. Each step does not need to produce the amount of force if you're just sticking your leg into the floor. Go watch football. Go watch soccer. How do they stop when they're running full speed? They don't just jam one leg into the floor. They take a bunch of tiny little ones. And that's a big thing people mess up, right? Okay, look at his feet. Boom. He readjusts his angle. Okay, those are not long steps. Those are small steps.
Crushed it with ease. Realized Giddey was gone, powered up that right foot and exploded to the rim and just crushed it with
each
Giddey was
foot.
gone,
He can change direction.
Right foot,
right foot, turn, right, open up that left foot. Okay, most guys would try to take a long step with the left foot. The left foot is planted underneath his body, so he has power to turn. So then he can turn.
Rim.
Right foot, small one. Okay, he's deciding how to jump or how to react. Okay, takes a quick left and then right, explodes up with the right.
Remember, getting backdoored like this usually means giving up a layup, but not for Ausar Thompson. This is the third play of his career, and he recovers to stamp Jimmy Butler, then blocks him again before Butler finally scores. And that's when I realized that Ausar might just be a different breed of defender than most players.
Great read on the weak side.
That's when I realized that Ausar...
Okay, you have to have, for defense, you have to have great kind of body talent, basically. And then you have to have the agility. Body talent, you have to have a certain size, length, kind of longer arms. You're a little bit more deceptive with longer arms.
Might just be a different breed.
How good of an athlete are you? Do you jump 30 inches, 35 inches, 40 inches? Okay, and then the mental aspect of the game. When can you help? Timing, right? The coordination.
Defend.
Okay, that's all the mental stuff. He's timing this. He's waiting until after the steps are taken. Okay, and then he's deciphering how his defender is guarding him. And then once he's bumped, doing a slow finish, then he can jump and then wall up with two hands.
And that's when I realized that Ausar,
all of these things have to be accounted for.
A different breed of.
There's the pickup. There's the bump. He's coming in closer. Okay, he's reading what's going on and deciding how he wants to attack.
Covers to stamp Jimmy Butler, then blocks him again before Butler finally scores.
You have to teach all of these things.
And that's when I realized that Ausar
reading
might just be a different.
Okay, sliding in, getting a little closer because he might need help.
Breed of.
Take another couple little steps to get in. He notices now he's picked up the ball. Okay, this guy's bodying him up. So what shot can the offensive player do?
Defender.
Okay, reading there. He's on his second step now. The defender's going to get shed, so it's a slow takeoff.
Than most players. He keeps an eye on the ball here as he gets back in transition, realizes his teammate is vulnerable.
I can already tell, like, he's super smart or instinctual.
And just superheroes over to save a layup. Realizes his teammate is vulnerable and just...
Okay, so head down. Okay, so he's made the decision, I'm going to leave my shooter.
Superhero.
Right? Is Grayson Allen good enough to know that this guy's going to come all the way over for the help and then just dump it back to Utah for a dunk? Like right here, you have a behind the back pass.
Over to
Are you good enough to do that? Utah's trailing it, trying to catch a rebound off the backboard. Any really great defender will just ignore concepts like I don't know, football's people where the safeties just leave.
He keeps an eye on
their
the
man
ball
because
here as he
they
gets
have a
back
high
in transition,
level of prediction.
Realizes his teammate is vulnerable.
How is his teammate vulnerable?
Superheroes over, and he has nice instincts on when to help. He's guarding a poor shooter here, so he pursues the ball instead and forces a turnover with those active hands. I loved this play where he stays in front of the ball to destroy the
on Aaron
drive.
Gordon again,
Then
man.
instead of chasing his man back to the outside, lingers to provide much needed help and finally ambushes the ball in the corner.
This is exactly what I just said.
Then instead of chasing his man back to the outside, lingers to provide much needed help and finally ambushes the ball in the corner to force another turnover. So he has a nice nose for the basketball, which has helped him grab nearly 10 rebounds per game to start the year, which is absolutely ridiculous for a wing, ranking 5th in the entire league in offensive rebound rate, 19 spots ahead of the next best.
This boy is a dog.
Which is absolutely.
He reminds me a lot of Russell Westbrook.
Ridiculous.
Right here, they just don't want it.
For a wing.
He's sliding behind him. He's using all his jumps, all his bursts.
Ranking 5th in the entire league in offensive rebound rate.
Right here, sneaking in.
19 spots ahead of the next best perimeter player in offensive rebound.
That easily could have been a dunk if Cade passed it to him.
Insane athletic traits, like out-jumping Kevin Durant here, and his explosive quickness and knack for
Kevin Durant sees him. It's a long bounce. Kevin Durant's backing up. He's jumping. This guy's going forward. Okay, you get forward energy, backward energy.
And his explosive quickness and knack for tracking the ball, I see no reason he can't be an elite rebounder in the long run, which is incredibly rare. Quickness and knack for tracking.
Okay, ball secured. Okay, who's running? First four. You see this guy? His heels are on the floor. The big man there. Cunningham's probably coming to the ball. Who's taking off? Right? These are jogging steps.
I see no
Gets
reason.
rid of it, and you see his burst. Boom, pass.
He can't
1, 2, 3. He's already in a full sprint. DeRozan's getting smoked.
Rebounder in the long run, which is incredibly rare for a wing player in today's game. Now, part of the reason he crashes the glass so hard is that his outside shot is, shall we say, a work in progress. That one grazed the net at least, and well, he'll miss by a mile 1 minute and then drill one in the next. All this is a reminder that he's still incredibly raw. In the same game that he was ignored into shooting multiple air balls, he also adjusted with his catch-and-go jazz step on the baseline for a little reverse.
What the hell do you call that, a jazz
if
step?
teams dare you to shoot,
run
the natural
through the pass.
is to cut into empty space.
You need to watch some Draymond Green running through a pass,
Giannis behind defenders, where he can crash or just finish.
Matt Barnes.
And again, he has nice feel for those pockets, circling.
He's in the dunker spot.
Behind defense.
Okay, they're ignoring him. You get the baseline drive, and then you get the opening in the middle. Anytime somebody drives to the middle, you go to the middle of the rim. You need somebody in the corner. Okay, so when he drives baseline, you get a corner drift, and if this guy's not the shooter, he's circling around. Most guys would just stand there or cut through the gap between Utah and number 0. But he's using all his energy to come around. He's hiding behind these guys.
Counter is to cut into empty space.
Okay, so he's hiding behind where they can't see them. All their eyes are turned. All their eyes are turned on the ball handler. Then he times the cut. As soon as this guy goes up in the air, he's coming to bail him out. Right, this is a perfectly timed cut, perfectly executed, hiding behind. Okay, who's, I don't know, number 7. He's the corner shooter. So you got somebody going to the corner, and then you got this guy.
He also has these possessions where he's moving like 100 miles an hour,
the hole, under the hole,
fumbling all over the court while his body tries to catch up to his mind. And then he'll come down and drop some absurd no-look dime like this while his body tries to catch.
Okay, like if he's an athlete, he wouldn't fall, right? You craziest athlete you ever seen? No.
Catch up to his mind.
Just bad ball handling.
And then he'll come down and drop some absurd no-look dime like this. Or slash into the lane and make you wonder if there's a trampoline installed under the floorboard. He also has good vision and is constantly looking to hook up teammates, although all the traditional parts of his offensive game need more patience and control. I have no idea what his offense might look like.
He's a defensive player and he's a playmaker, but he doesn't have the offensive skills to do it yet, so he needs to tighten up his offensive
in
skills.
3 years, especially with his
Less of this dribbling stuff.
shot
He needs to be the middle roller like Draymond.
completely up in the air. But he's going to butter his bread on defense, and he's already really good on that end right now. Former All-Air. But he's going to butter his bread on defense, and he's already
Tyler Hero, Ausar Thompson stronger
really
than
good
him.
on that.
Great
end.
defense. Okay, he should have a hook here. Okay, and then right when he gets here, right, Bam should be circling behind to get a dunk. But Bam stands there.
Now, former All-Star Zach LaVine wants a screen, but Ausar powers
Okay, flattened screen.
through it, so he
Still gets the screen.
goes to the step back. Not happening. All NBA, but Ausar powers through it, so he
Zach LaVine not want to come back to his right?
goes to the
Vucevic is too tight, right? So he's walled up. There's only one shot left for Zach LaVine. It's that bounce out or step out to the left.
step back and not happening. All NBA guard Damian Lillard needed a moving screen to find some space and hit this big three.
It's not a moving
NBA
screen.
guard Damian Lillard needed a move.
Okay, he's taking his time. This is a pro. He's setting up the screen. He's waiting for the screen to actually come.
To find some space and hit this big three. So at the end of the game, he was feeling confident enough to try Ausar in isolation.
Okay, this kid's longer, more athletic. Damian Lillard's super sharp, but I'm not sure if he's gonna win this.
And that was a tactical error.
Whew, great recovery.
At the end of the game, he was feeling confident enough to try Ausar in isolation, and that was a tactical error. Former MVP Kevin Durant fared back. So at the end of the game, he was feeling confident enough to try Ausar in isolation, and that was a tactical error.
So remember what I said about
at the end of the
little
game,
steps
he was
versus
feeling
big
confident
steps?
enough to try Ausar in
How
isolation.
quick are his feet, right? Slide, 1-2 on his slide. Probes at the ball. Dame Lillard, same foot stop.
And that
Boom. Okay, he drops his left foot.
was a
Hops forward.
tactical
And then hops.
error. Former MVP.
Okay, most guys would not be able to get out of this dropped
confident
left
enough
foot
to
here.
Try Ausar in isolation, and
As
that
soon as they drop that left foot there, they would not be able to hop
was
up
a
out of it and then
tactical
jump again.
error. Former
get
MVP
stuck
Kevin
when they drop
Durant
that left
fared
foot.
better against him, nearly making this turnaround. But later in the same possession, when it came back to KD, Ausar destroyed his Euro step, and even with Durant's later
What'd
in
I
the
say
same
about long
possession, when
steps?
it came back to
KD's Euro steps are so slow, just like Wemby's.
KD, Ausar destroyed his Euro step, and even with Durant's knee creating space, this was still actually an up and down violation.
So KD has to
wanna guard
lean
the best
back, use his
player.
length.
You know, I give it my all, and yeah,
I like him.
I want to contribute to winning.
Locking up all-star wings and defending KD really well.
And you guys know I don't really care for defense. But when you watch somebody play defense, you can tell if they're a dog.
Is wildly impressive. But his shutdown of Shea in just his 4th NBA game
Shea is not super athletic. Shea's very methodical. He's strong. He plays low to the floor. You're always going to lose to a worse athlete if you're the same size and you're slower.
was absolutely mind-blowing. All of SGA's stop and start tricks and fakes didn't work on Ausar. He traveled trying to get that one off, and Gilgeous-Alexander wasn't quick enough to get by him, so Ausar just mirrors him here and high-fives the step-back three.
Sick.
This time Shea tries to shed him by using a screen, but he
That's a terrible
can't,
screen.
pushes off,
Right here, he just needs to turn around and pass it.
and that's an offensive foul. So in the third, OKC tried to fake a screen so the
Shea's does not have the speed.
Pistons would switch, but Asar's recovery speed kicks in, and he slides back in front for a block that was probably
See,
a
why isn't
third.
this a
OKC tried
veer
to
and a
fake
regular layup?
screen so the Pistons would switch, but Asar's recovery speed kicks in, and he slides back in front for a block that was probably a foul on the elbow.
Shea
but
plays very low
Shea
to the
got him
ground.
back later in the game when he headbutted Ausar, and that was called a foul on Thompson's face. So let's call the entire thing a wash. When Ausar went to the bench in this game, Shea
Okay, he's botting this guy up.
Immediately torched the Pistons, getting to his spots and going 9 of 15 for 27 points.
Okay, so look at Shea. He can start and stop against this guy.
And go
start and stop.
Going 9 of 15.
So he knows he has the burst, right? He has the burst faster than this guy. He does not have the top end speed, but he has the burst.
For 27 points against non-Thompson defenders. But against Ausar, he scored just 5 points, going 2 for 8 from the floor with 2 turnovers and 2 more near turnovers that OKC ended up recovering in the best lockdown performance by a rookie that I've seen in a long time. I'm not sure how valuable his weird offensive combination of cutting, rebounding, and passing can be, especially in the right environment. But I do know that on defense, the sky is the limit, because Ausar Thompson is one of the most incredible rookie defenders that I've ever seen.
One, super athletic, agile, super intelligent. The biggest thing I learned about him, other than I already knew he was an athlete, but he's so intelligent on the defensive end. So far, a big fan, but he can't shoot or score, so his I guess his value in the NBA is going to be very limited until he can hit a standstill three. Guys that are playing against him, you got to just be taller, stronger. You got to use what you can against him. Most guards, I think, don't have what it takes to get around him other than patience. Luka shouldn't have a problem with him. He'll just body him up the whole time. Until next video, pretty cool. Learn about some new players. Until next video, take 14 minutes, 24 seconds, or 1% of your day to get better. Peace.